Stoli Vodka is one of the world's most awarded premium vodkas. With a commitment to uncompromising quality since 1938, Stoli controls every aspect of its vodka making, from planting, harvesting the finest ingredients, to distilling and bottling. This process has been followed for decades to guarantee the consistency and quality and signature ultra-smooth taste in each iconic bottle produced. Isn't it time you picked up Stoli Vodka for a try? For those who know their vodka well, and themselves even better, Stoli, the vodka. Check out Stoli as the official vodka in Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Enjoy responsibly. 40% alcohol by volume. Imported by Stoli Group USA, LLC, New York, New York.
Adnan Verkin for Traders, Golic and Wing on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. As always, we're presented by Progressive Insurance. All of our phone guests on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. And you can call us, 860-506-5505. Once again, 860-506-5505. If you'd like to leave a voicemail.
Yeah, how about that? Go ahead and leave a voicemail. I guarantee it'll be better than what Hal just left. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. By the way, before we get into what's trending, I need to bring this up because Stugatz and I were texting yesterday. I have a newfound respect for my guy and his lacrosse game after our conversation yesterday. I also learned an inordinate amount about the drug trade yesterday, thanks to him, because they were talking about Esteban Loaiza and how much heroin costs and cocaine costs. And Stugatz,
you learned that from Stugatz?
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
Just rattling it off.
Yeah,
huh?
he was like, through a friend, he knows how much.
Yeah, no, it's amazing how much that knowledge was just sitting there below the surface.
I had no idea how much heroin costs, like a gram of it versus cocaine. But anyways, he said, because Levitard brought this up, he goes, Golic is welching on the glute massage.
Yeah.
And he said that you tried to outsource it. Like, you're like, I'll get you a massage for another
I said I was going to get him, like a day at the spa or something like that, because Stu's never up here. I'm never down there. I mean, so I'm not making a special trip down to Miami just to massage his gluteus maximus. That's not happening.
Right.
So it's whenever we're going to be in the same area, and I don't know when that's going to happen. So I said, listen, I'll just get you, I'll get a massage therapist in studio. You guys,
Gotcha.
Go ahead and right there, lay on the.
Dan thought you were welching. He thought you were trying to get out of the bed.
No,
sounds like you're welching.
I was just trying to pay it off and pray to God that he took my payoff from a massage therapist, a professional. And to get the massage right on the desk of the studio down
This was
there.
related, by the way, for those who aren't aware, the Notre Dame-Miami game.
Yes. Notre Dame-Miami,
Hurricanes
yes, it was.
beat Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I don't know how they came to that. Even Stugatz, as he pointed out, because it's not like I have a hankering for Mike to pay up on the bet.
That was, Dan set that up beautifully. Dan proved he was the master in the way he manipulated that bet till all of a sudden, it was some sort of glute massage. Yeah, he did very well on that.
Yeah, I see. Well, the thing you need to do is you need to turn it around and make the massage as such where, it's a glute massage, but that's the only terms that they agreed to. I mean, who's to stop it from being a hot donut massage where you merely massage Stugatz with as many donuts as it takes to, cover his backside at this point? I feel like there are ways you can make it unenjoyable enough for him to now welch on.
Yeah, go back the other way. Maybe he has to,
like anything else, if you make it difficult enough, Stugatz will not want to do it. He only wants it if it's easy and it comes to him. And so if you require any sort of activity on his part,
he'll end the bet.
Yeah, this becomes Stugatz Day in Sioux Falls, North Dakota.
Right.
Or South Dakota, whichever
Clark
one it is,
University's finest, though. Lacrosse sensation Stugatz. He'll never get old. All right, so here's what's trending. Since the Eagles won the Super Bowl last Sunday, by the way, I'm wearing my Eagles shirt today.
Yes,
Cliff
you are.
is appreciating Mike, and Mike Jr. appreciates. Go get your. What were you telling me, Cliff? At Modell's in Philadelphia, people couldn't get any swag.
Couldn't get any shirts. There were
sold
lines around the block. There were just lines around the block. There was so many people trying to get these shirts.
If your city wins the Super Bowl, someone correct me if I'm wrong, especially that. If you sell out of anything, that is so bad on you. How do you not order enough? Or are they not? I mean, I'm sure you want to order enough. Is there just the production that can't keep up with the demand? I don't know how that happens.
No, but you're right, Mike. Listen, figure it out. 2 million people.
Are you
we're
kidding me?
6 million
Yeah,
shirts.
we're going to need
go above and beyond.
We're going to need. How many do you want? A lot.
Right.
Okay, I need a lot.
People want 10 shirts.
Yeah,
And family members. Not everyone's in Philadelphia. Like preparing for this stuff. Prepare, I should say, or plan for this. No Philadelphia team has lost, though, since the Eagles won. The Sixers have rattled off wins over the Wizards, Pelicans, Clippers, and Knicks, and currently sit in the 7th spot in the Eastern Conference. Flyers, big time. Claude Giroux, all-star. They've won 4 in a row. Shootout win over Arizona on Saturday. Here was the big one. Everyone's talking about Vegas. Expansion team, unbelievable. Flyers beat them convincingly 4-1 on Sunday. So it is time for Philly Magic all over the place.
That is pretty impressive. Now, I wonder which will be the first team to lose, because we know it won't go on forever there. Will it be the 76ers or will it be the Flyers? But you're right. Big win over Vegas. Vegas doing Golden Knights are fantastic this year, but that's a pretty cool thing, going undefeated since the title.
It was sort of like the phenomenon after the Cavaliers won the title, and then all of a sudden Cleveland went gone on to have the season that they did in baseball as well. Obviously, it couldn't translate all the way to football season, but it got close.
Yeah.
I think they won a game that year.
I love it. All right, a couple of football guys here. I'm curious for your take on these, gents. The Jaguars announced yesterday that they are removing tarps that cover 4 sections of Everbank Field to meet an increased demand for tickets in the wake of the team's surprising run of the AFC Championship game. The average season ticket price will also increase by an average of 11%. First time in 10 seasons that a majority of the seats will have a cost increase. However, the team also said it's lowering concession prices on certain items. Fans can purchase hot dogs, popcorn, bottled soda, and various other items for $5 each.
So they went both sides on this one. I can respect that, by raising the ticket prices, but saying, hey, you can get eats here for a lot cheaper, though, or cheaper. But as far as uncovering the seats, didn't they take up one of the whole sections because they couldn't sell out and put a pool in there as well? But listen, that's a feather in their cap to be able to uncover those because you can now sell those seats. But then up in the prices, and people are going to pay it because everybody thinks that this team is on the come, on the rise. They're right there. And listen, I'm all for some cheaper concession food, so I'm good with that.
It's more surprising to me. I forgot that they had to tarp up those seats to begin with, which is a sad state of affairs in Jacksonville to start for a professional team, but good for them. The problem is now the Atlanta Falcons already did this with the cheaper concessions, and we found out they made actually more money off that this year. So people are going to start to get hip to what's going on in this. Is you can do that, but while you're jacking up the prices over there, they're still going to get theirs money-wise. It's a great idea. I love cheaper snacks, but it's not like they're not getting theirs off the back end. So eventually people are going to figure out the game on this one.
Yeah, I'm just thrilled to see Jacksonville winning franchise again. Good to see them make a little bit of a run. You just don't wish that they right away capitalizing. Like, all right, raise ticket prices.
Well, they're also changing the uniforms, too, so they're doing all the right things to make you forget that they're jacking up the prices.
They
it's like,
really
hey, fresh new uniforms. Maybe we're not going to go with these gross two-tone helmets anymore.
But, I mean, what does that mean, new uniforms? That means more memorabilia, right? The new jerseys and everything in the stores
now. You get it.
Right. Getting it all, bottom dollar.
And this is big. Speaking of ticket prices, Marlins have jacked up tickets on like 40% of their seats, and this really is an outrage. I mean, listen.
Derek Jeter is ruining the Marlins.
He's going to strip this sucker down until it is completely barren. There is absolutely no hope and optimism, and then he's going to build up a winner.
You think? Really? Is that what they're waiting for?
The Miami Marlins Great Sea Race. This is a mid-game mascot race between Bob the Shark, Julio the Octopus, Angel the Stone Crab, and my guy, Spike the Sea Dragon.
Yep.
Coming to an end.
Yeah.
The Great Sea Race began in 2012 when the Marlins opened their new ballpark. The 4 sea creatures would come out in the middle of the 6th inning. They'd race down the warning track to the left field corner before turning to the finish line at third base. And now that has been vanquished. You're letting go of coaches who have been Hall of Famers. You are trading away every viable asset, including Giancarlo Stanton. But once you get rid of the sea race, that's where you lose.
Yeah, I'm trying to find really quickly. Did they give a reason? I mean,
it was too much fun. Yeah, they couldn't afford to pay them $5.
Whoa, wait, we're not going to have star players here. Yeah. We're raising ticket prices.
That's correct.
So let's not give any people a reason to smile at all. Let's take away the mascot race. I mean, who's going to a game? I want to know down. Dan's got to be, Levitard's got to be going nuts on this. Who's going to a game?
Oh, Billy.
Who is going to a Marlins game this year? And what are you going for now?
This is like the bizarro sad version of what we saw in Golden State where they're letting players coach just because they're too bored and anything else. Right. Here, if they want the mascot race to continue, it's going to have to be the players and coaches that go out there and race in the middle of the 6th inning in the mascot costumes now.
How do you feel to be Don Mattingly? Manager of the Marlins.
Don Mattingly, someone make him name the team.
Right, if they
name the players on your team.
Who's your first baseman? Who's your center fielder? They should just go around the horn on Mattingly. Cut off those sideburns, Mattingly. Like, this is what it's going to be. It's brutal.
It is a sad state of affairs down there, and you wonder when's the next time we're going to get good news, because this just continues to be the downward trend, and this maybe not as severe, although in my mind it's an atrocity.
No, Mike, let me tell you something about mascot races. Tim Kirchin, you know him, you love him. 35 years in the business. One thing everybody asks him about is he once participated in the sausage race.
Yes, he did.
In Milwaukee, excuse me. Sean McDonough actually called the game. It was unbelievable. It was like 3 years ago. McDonough was hysterical, but Tim, I can't remember if he was the bratwurst, but he got a bad. He was looking the wrong
He
way.
did. He got a bad start.
It was awful, and he got smoked. But he goes, being in that uniform,
but he was in it.
And he said, honestly, people still ask him about it. People love the sausage race.
We have the sausage race. You have the presidents and the Washington Nationals and their park. Right. This is a part of baseball. Damn it!
But no, the Marlins Great Sea Race we have to end. I still don't see a valid reason for it. Billy the Marlin will still swim around Marlins Park this season, but it's just a matter of time before they get that thing out of there as well.
Jeter will go in and personally kill the thing.
Holy smokes. I mean, seriously? What are you doing down there?
Oh, sorry. Kirkstrom was the hot dog per research.
Oh, he's a hot
Thank
dog.
you for that.
Okay.
Yeah. It was unbelievable. You
Good
can't
to know.
get video, but at 10:01, once the show is done, Google Kirkstrom. It's unbelievable. He's looking the wrong way. He got a bad start. He just got lapped the field. It was awful.
I really
McDonald's play-by-play made it worth it.
I want to know the reason for this. I really want to know why they're not doing
will make
it.
a call. We'll find out why is the Great Sea Race being vanquished. Did the Marlins give a specific reason for it? They told us why the ticket prices are raised. But they don't tell us why they're getting rid of the sea race. Once again, go ahead, Mike.
By the way, I said Billy the Marlin is still going to be there, but the guy who's worn it was fired. So it's going to be a different guy wearing the outfit now.
Well, cut back.
Wow.
You know what?
He wanted health benefits. I'm sorry. That's where we're going.
I feel like Jeter would be the guy that would just say, go around without the mascot head on the park and scar all the children
how about
at this point.
Holy smokes.
Psycho.
It's kind of like if you put the bar down so low, and then it's just incremental improvements will feel like such giant victories. I mean, just the cupboard's completely bare. You can call us 860-506-5505. Once again, 860-506-5505 if you would like to leave a voicemail. Adnan Virk in for Trey today. We are Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. Jay Bell's going to join us in about 15 minutes. But voicemails just keep on pouring in here.
Yeah, they do.
Hey guys, it's Fitz. If we're going to put together like a double figure skating event, maybe have Careless Whisper as our song, would Senior or Junior want to be my figure skating partner? Kind of let me know, and maybe we can start training.
It's Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
That was Jason Fitz, right? That's who that was?
Oh, that's who that was?
Was that who that was?
That would be...
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Go to bed, dude.
So the only way I would be his partner is if we do the Iron Lotus.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah, no.
We have to try the Iron Lotus.
Yeah, he would clearly have to be
He'd have to be the guy with the
yeah.
potential of getting his throat slit by my skate.
For those that don't know the Iron Lotus, can you describe it for them?
Well, I don't know if I can describe the actual move itself. What was it?
It's from the movie Blades of Glory.
Yeah.
Chaz Michael Michaels and Jimmy, I forget his name in that movie, but a two-man combination move that is supposed to be part of a mixed doubles routine, but the two bodies and the requisite strength involved are really lacking in this, and so it took two male competitors to try and pull it off, but unfortunately, severing of the head isn't a usual byproduct of this process, and so... Yeah. Jimmy McElroy, that is the one. Jimmy McElroy, yes.
There you go.
The
boy
wonder. Blades of Glory.
Other than that, no, I'm not going to be his
Parada once again, all over the Blades of Glory.
No.
I'll be Fitzy's double partner on that one, but he's going to have to offer to shave my back after what we heard in the last one. So.
More doubles luge talk a little later on, but for now.
Kidding me.
Well, that's the horn only, but here's the actual open.
It's time to try Trey.
Try Trey is brought to you by Discover Card, who will match all the cash back new card members earn at the end of their first years. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply. So apparently Wingo does not like the concept
we
of people
tried
getting to know
Trey,
him.
not a big fan of that. Then we did this with Jason Fitz, and he played along with it with his music background. We got to know him very well. And with you, we're doing Try, not Trey. We're doing Try A,
which I think
with your
is
Canadian background.
Well, this picture's horrific. So this is what happens.
Spear fingers.
When you take a photo shoot, this is the lesson I've now learned. You get a little goofy, right? For 10 minutes, you start acting silly. Okay, give me whatever you want. So once I started getting a little silly with the jazz hands, of course, nothing ever hits the cutting room floor. There's always a spot
exactly
for
right.
it. And then Joe, the camera guy, just completely...
You got to know that.
Right. When the camera's on, when the mic's on, everything is fair game.
Everything's material.
So now we got jazz hands over here.
Yeah, you do.
Hell of a shirt, though.
Oh, hello! What's the best life lesson you learned in your time spent working at McDonald's? That's the American Tim Hortons. Try, eh?
Oh, my God.
Very good.
Oh, my
very
God.
good. I did work at McDonald's.
You did work at McDonald's.
2.5 years. It makes me think of Coming to America. Remember Lenny Anderson?
Oh, yeah.
Or Louis Anderson, excuse me, is like, in a couple of years, I'll be on fries. It wasn't quite like that, but here's the best lesson. I worked actually at a McDonald's, which is on the highway, Highway 401, which is a big stretch between Toronto and Montreal.
Okay.
And so once a highway, right, you stop at McDonald's, no one's ever going to turn back if you mess up the order. So it ever was rude or obnoxious, time-honored move. Rather than a Coke, you just give them a root beer. And so what I learned at McDonald's is that passive-aggressive approach is the best way to get people in line.
If someone ordered a Coke, you gave them a root beer.
Correct.
And that was your way of getting back at them.
That was my subtle way. Like, 'cause listen.
That is Canadian justice if I've ever heard
Wow.
of it.
There's a big-time difference in a Coke and a root beer. Imagine 6-hour drive, Toronto to Montreal. All right, stopping in Kingston. All right, boom. And, hey, come on, buddy, let's go. How long is it going to take? Okay, 1 root beer it is, sir. Enjoy.
I was waiting to hear you spit in the food or something gross
that
like
would be-
that.
No.
At what point did you fill the root beer instead of the Coke? At what point did they drive away? Did you feel bad?
Well,
You mailed them an apology letter, didn't you, too? Oh, sorry.
once you see the kids in the car, too, you're like, oh, you know what, maybe I went too far. Guy's having a long day, you know?
When you think of root beer, think of Adnan.
When you think of garbage, think of Hakeem.
What's the fast food restaurant that you frequent the most?
Was that Scottish? What was
Jerry
that?
has clearly never met a Canadian person in his life.
Here it is again.
What's the fast food restaurant that you frequent the most? Try it.
Yeah,
It sounds like a character from Braveheart.
Yeah. Very specific to Halifax, Nova Scotia, perhaps. That's the accent Jerry is going for the Maritimes. I still go to McDonald's occasionally. I got to be honest. My kids love the McNuggets, and they got a play area there. So
Can't beat that.
9, 6, and 1. Go ahead, have some nuggets. It's cold outside. Run around. I'll have a McChicken sandwich. Way to go.
Maybe every once in a while the ice cream machine will decide to work. I don't know.
Hot Fudge Sundae. It's still a great deal. I'm telling you. Dollar menu.
Have you ever gotten a root beer instead of the Coke that you ordered?
No, because they know it's not a drive-through. I would come back and give them a piece of my mind.
Yeah, sure you would.
We know you love a good day at the cinema, but is it true that you asked your wife to marry you at a movie theater?
Well,
Try it.
I like that music there at the end as well.
That was awesome.
Yeah, let's tell that one more time.
We know you love a good day at the cinema, but is it true that you asked your wife to marry you at a movie theater? Try it.
Yeah, a little rush.
Rush-ified.
Awesome.
I tell you, Jerry's the MVP
Did
today.
you do that?
So my wife's from San Jose. I was there, obviously about to propose. We went to a restaurant, but the vibe wasn't great. Okay, people are just kind of, you know, when the moment's right, and that moment was not
So
exactly
you
right.
planned on doing it there,
Right,
but
and
the
then
vibe wasn't right.
Do you think you were going to get a no?
No, it wasn't that. It was just, speaking of churros, you mentioned earlier, this guy was upset about the churros.
Who was speaking of churros? What the hell are we speaking of churros?
Great
Mike
callback.
listened to churro ice cream an hour ago. He was talking-
Oh, you wanted, okay, all right.
churro ice cream.
Silly me.
Yeah, we're in San Jose, right? People are upset about the churros. The wait staff was kind of obnoxious. You know, the vibe just was not right. It's the
Okay.
best way I can put it. And we were going to a movie afterwards. So I said, you know what? As we were there, I could do this another time or I could just do it now. So it wasn't actually in the movie theater, but just on the way in. So not quite concession stand, but I just got one knee. I'm like, all right, honey, let's just.
Outside of the movie theater.
After you made her pay for her ticket?
After she,
I'm like, hey, you got dinner, right? Because
After you went Dutch on the meal.
Yeah, correct. Hey, those tacos weren't exactly up to my specialties. You
So
got
was it
that.
in a parking lot?
Yeah,
Or
it was
in-
right in the parking lot going into it. Yeah. I said,
Wow.
hey, and then just drop down. And then you get like 3 people clapping. Like, wait, are they really that excited to see Spider-Man 2? Like, I didn't realize. they were
Wow,
that far
okay.
up here.
That's pretty good. I like that one.
Yeah. So
I
that-
was going to say, you can appreciate that considering your trash proposal.
My horrific proposal in the
but say-
parking lot.
Okay, we'll get that. We'll
Yeah.
tease it a little
Yeah,
later on.
horrible.
Mike will tease that. One more here.
Go ahead.
Try A.
True or false? You once asked Jessica Alba if she thought you looked like Ben Stiller. Try it.
Are those Canadian geese? Is that what?
Just, we've emptied the budget here on every bit of
We
CanCon
have so
we
many
got.
more questions. Did you?
Jessica Alba was here. My wife, when we first met, said I look a little like Ben Stiller. Kevin Nagandi thinks I look like Ben Stiller. So more than a few have said it. Jessica Alba worked with him in, I think, Meet the Fockers. So I just said, hey, people think I look a little like Ben Stiller. And she just stared and she goes, yeah, no, I don't
No,
know.
she wouldn't going down that road.
More
huh?
handsome is what Jessica was thinking.
Oh,
She just
yeah,
didn't
I'm
wanna-
sure she was.
Just didn't want to verbalize that
Yeah,
exactly. But
yeah,
do you,
that's
either of you think Ben
No,
Stiller?
not one bit.
Yeah.
Not a
Yeah,
bit. No.
yeah.
You have to,
Man.
You have to talk
I'm
yourself.
not even trying to fake it.
say-
How drunk am I?
Exactly. Ben Stiller with a really, really good tan. Let's hear that. I want to go back to that question here.
We know you love a good day at the cinema, but is it true that you asked your wife to marry you at a movie theater? Try it.
Oh, we'll get more of those in. Just to hear Jerry's accent.
Awesome.
All right, coming up next, Jay Billis is going to get us back on track. Get his thoughts on the college basketball rankings, Trae Young, anything else he wants to talk. Maybe a marriage proposal from Jay Billis.
There you go.
About that.
Hey everyone, Mike Golick here. Support for the Golick Wingo podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you're getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Mikes. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS, consumeraccess.org number 3030.
Hey there, I'm a glue stick, so I have one job. I glue kid stuff. So sorry for being jealous of Geico, who does a ton more, like give you 24/7 access to thousands of licensed agents. And Geico has been around for over 75 years and has a 97% customer satisfaction rating. While I've just got mediocre adhesive skills, Geico also has an award-winning mobile app. Uh-oh, arts and crafts time. No eating the glue stick, Miss Lydia.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Bowling for Soup, 1985. Very good, Cliff. Adnan Verk in for Trey today. Golick and Wingo, ESPN Radio and ESPN2. What was the song that Fall Out Boy that Wingo was referring to? Centuries? In that reach?
It was Fall Out Boy, Sugar We're Going Down.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. Yeah, he talked about mouth salad and don't know what words are.
Mouth salad.
I don't know if it's mouth salad.
I don't know.
Not sure any of that was a thing. I'm just more shocked and impressed that Trey knew who Fall Out Boy was.
Yeah, see, there you go.
I was going to say, he gets down. Also getting down, ESPN college basketball analyst Jay Billis. The Billustrator is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2018 John R. Wooden Player of the Year. Now, listen, we'll get to all the college hoops here in just a second. I promise you, Jay. But Winter Olympics time. You are a man of many tastes. How locked in are you here? Is there a sport you would most like to play?
Yes, I was, growing up, I was a really good loser.
We learned
Actually, Jay,
we learned this. Yeah,
they're called sliders, not loser, because loser sounds a little too close to loser. So you would have been a slider.
No, I was a loser.
I don't care what the name is. I was a loser. Well done. Jay, NCAA Tournament Selection Committee puts up the top 16 teams in the tournament. I was with Seth Greenberg and LaFonso Ellis on Sunday, and we had some quibbles there. Michigan State is a 3 seed. Oklahoma is a 4. You tweeted, a few of the decisions in the bracket preview top 16 seeds are laughable. I hope this was just to create controversy and discussion. Otherwise, the committee is wasting its time. What particularly raised your ire?
Well, just the idea. First of all, when the committee chair came on the air, which they're great people. I know a ton of the committee members; they're great. But when the first thing the committee chair does is thank the committee for all their hard work and dedication, I'm kind of going, you don't lead with thank myself. And then they started, he started talking about led with quadrant wins. Well, this team's got 6 quadrant 1 wins, and this team's got 8 quadrant 1 wins. That stuff I don't think is the right way to do things, because it's an organizational tool that organizes information for weaker kind of basketball minds or less discerning minds. Doesn't mean they're not making the right decisions, but these quadrant 1 wins, let me tell you what those are. A win against the top 30 team at home in the RPI is a quadrant 1 win. A win at a neutral site against a top 50 team in the RPI is a quadrant 1 win. And a road win against a top 75 team in the RPI is a quadrant 1 win. So a win on the road against Rider counts in the same quadrant as a win at home against Villanova or Virginia. And that stuff doesn't make any sense. And it's all based upon the RPI, which we all have said for a million years is a flawed measure and shouldn't be used at all. So they've just given this new thing for the first time that nobody outside of us basketball geeks understand or care to understand. That's based on a measure that we didn't like in the first place. So that's kind of the super dumb part about it, and the jock issue.
Yeah, did we lose Jay? Jay, did we lose you there?
I think we lost him for a second.
I think we lost him
There's
for a
no
second.
way he would just mid-thought.
I'm not going to lie.
That's all I have to say about this today.
I think we got him back.
Yeah, I'm still there.
Oh, okay, we got you. All right, I'm not going to lie. I acted like I knew what a quadrant win was just because I wanted to sound smarter than I really am, but I didn't know what a quadrant one win was. Now that I do know, it's the dumbest thing known to mankind. I mean, it is ridiculous how stupid that is. So it does seem they're doing this just like they do in college football. You start it halfway through the year, it becomes a talking point, but my gosh, that is a ridiculous. I'm with you on why they seed them that way. So I'm going to forget that, and I'm going to look at a North Carolina team that beat Notre Dame last night, but it was won 4 in a row now overall with them. Beat Duke a couple of games ago. Is this a team, after losing the players they did from the championship team last year, that can make a run now the way they're setting themselves up at the end of the year?
Well, it depends what you mean by run. I mean, I think they're a second weekend team, Sweet 16, Elite 8. They can do that. I don't see them going beyond that. Like, I think, Mike, there's a separation among the very top teams like Purdue and Villanova, if healthy, Cincinnati, Michigan State, Virginia. But outside of that, there are other teams that can get in there, obviously. There can always be a team like South Carolina that gets hot and a team in front of them falls down. That can happen. But I think for North Carolina, this is a lot like 2006 and 2010, the years after they won their last 2 national championships, 2017 being Roy Williams' third. They had a bunch of personnel losses, and their entire front court is gone. And that was the best front court in the country. So do I think they're anywhere near as good as they were last year? I thought they were the best team in the country in 2016 and 2017. I didn't think it was much of an argument. And they just happened to get into 2 championship games. I don't see this team being the same. Last 3 games, they've played much better than they did any time earlier in the season. But I don't think they have the firepower they've had in their championship years.
All right, Jason, we heard your gripe with the process of selecting and with the group, the Tier 1 wins and all those things like that. As far as the actual way the 16 teams were seeded this time around, I know you said a few of the decisions in that befuddled you. What were a couple of the teams that you thought were misseeded?
Starting with Michigan State, Mike, at 11. They were 11th overall. That makes zero sense to me. You can Michigan State at 11. The argument would be, do you put Purdue as a number 1, or do you put Michigan State as a number 1? Now, I had zero problem with the number 1 seeds. That's fine. But you know, reasonable minds can differ on, hey, what do you put Michigan State in as number 1, or is it Purdue? You know, because they just beaten Purdue, all that stuff. And the committee said they stayed up past midnight, on Saturday night. And I was like, boy, I hope they were partying, because they certainly weren't talking about basketball. And then the number 16 seed as Oklahoma made absolutely zero sense, because Oklahoma has been on a slide that is pretty bad. I mean, they've lost 6 of their last 7, and they've lost like 8 games overall. And there's no way you can put an 8-loss team unless they lost, unless they played like 2 4-game series against the Golden State Warriors somehow. We didn't see that, and that's where the losses came from. That's not defensible to put them up there. And to me, in addition to this quadrant stuff, which I don't like the way they organize the information, but if you're looking at something, you're saying, wait a minute, Oklahoma's got 8 losses. Then you need to start looking at all these other analytics like KenPom.com and start looking at their adjusted efficiency and all these other things. And if you're seeing something different there that tells you a different story, then maybe you got something to justify. But, Oklahoma's ranked 31st in those measures, including in the 80s in defense. So the idea somehow that they've got some formula that makes them a top 16 team after losing all these games just doesn't make any sense.
Talking right now with Jay Billis. Jay, I'll be in the studio tomorrow night with Seth and the Fonz for the crossover. Always a ton of fun when you got guys like Dick Vitale and Bill Walton calling NBA games. How pumped are you? You're going to be doing Virginia Tech, Duke on ESPN2 with Hall of Famer Hubie Brown tomorrow night.
Yeah, I just hope that Hubie can enjoy the game instead of just taking notes at everything I say. Because, he's going to want to soak all that up, all that basketball wisdom up, and I just hope he doesn't miss things by trying to take it all in.
Right, learn from the best.
Exactly. Like, I'm so excited about, Hubie was an assistant coach at Duke years ago, and he and Chuck Daly were assistants under Vic Bubas back in the 60s. And I was a grad assistant for 3 years there under Coach K in the early 90s. So maybe we can compare our records. That might be fun.
All right, Jay. I saw your tweet about the kid from La Tech. What was it? Jacoby Boykins had the slam and got teed up for it. I mean, that was stunning to me. I don't know. For those that didn't see it, you can get it. You find it on Twitter, YouTube, anything. The dude has a great slam on a steal and a breakaway. And I mean, you like a split-second stare at the opponent, and the ref that's 50 feet away tees him up, and he ends up getting tossed from the game. So I take it you had a big issue with that.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that live, but I went back and looked at the tape, and that was his second technical for doing nothing wrong. The first one, he blocked a shot from behind an offensive player, and he blocked the thing with his elbow, and they called a technical foul on him, and there wasn't even a look there. And look, I understand these referees have a hard job, and they're told they want to avoid taunting and all this stuff. So, but I mean, I can't believe you have to block a shot, or if you dunk, you have to immediately avert your eyes. Maybe they ought to wear those. What do you guys wear in football in your helmets? Those shields across
visor,
it where you can't see. Yeah, the visor, you can't see anybody's eyes. Maybe we just got to start doing that in basketball. And I know they're worried about a fight or something like that, but I don't see there are dunks in every game, and there are fights in every game. It's not that big of a deal. And so it was a little overreaction by the officiating crew. And the guy that called it on the dunk, which was a fantastic dunk, and he didn't dunk over anybody. No. The guy was behind him. It's not that big of a deal. But the referee was at midcourt. And if there even was a look over, it wasn't any more than looking at a guy going, "Hey, I got him. You got him?" It was so ridiculous. So I felt bad for the kid. But the only good news for Boykins in this is the entire Twitter world got to see his dunk, and it was Louisiana Tech against Charlotte. Charlotte hadn't won a game in forever. So maybe that got his dunk a little more attention than it would have otherwise.
And just on the way out, Jay, speaking of midcourt, Jay Williams, of course, I'm sure Jay Williams can let us know, a lot of swag after he nailed that midcourt shot College Game Day. But the kid at Virginia, third time College Game Day's gone. You guys have gone there, and someone hits a midcourt shot. That was wild. And how great was Chris Long, the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, hanging out with you guys?
Chris Long could not have been nicer. That was maybe one of the best examples of you can be tough as nails and still be really nice. He had time for everybody there. And maybe he was still inebriated from the Super Bowl party, but he was fantastic to everybody that came up to him. And the athletic feat of Jay Williams hitting that shot with that tiny little suit on was stunning because he could not lift his arms above his waist with that tight little tiny suit, the medium suit. That was as impressive an athletic feat as I've seen in a long time.
It really was.
Great stuff, Jay. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it, man.
Always great to be on with Ben Stiller.
I tell you, the illustrator, he's always listening.
Awesome.
Wilk and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN2, presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. We will get into that Baker Mayfield topic a little bit later on the show, but just one thought before we get into a little bit of dog conversation. Mm-hmm. Last time Virginia was ranked number one, we just had Jay Billis on. He was playing at Duke at that time.
It was 1982, the last time they were ranked number one. So we love doing this. What was going on in the world in 1982? Gas was $1.21 a gallon. The number one movie, Tootsie.
Dustin Hoffman.
How about that, huh?
Classic,
Your breakdown of Tootsie real quick?
Loved it. Sidney Pollack, he's like, you're supposed to play a tomato. He's like, I didn't know what my motivation was. The best is because he's just so ugly as a woman. They go, hey, can you pull back a little bit, make him look more attractive? And then the camera guy goes, how about Cleveland? Great movie.
Number one song was Hall & Oates' Man Eater.
Oh, it is. That boy, Cliff. Very catchy. Doug Glanville, big Hall & Oates guy. So there's that.
Love that.
Cheers had aired 12 episodes of season 1. Eventually run 11 seasons, 275 episodes. Norm!
Isn't that amazing? I love that. I watch that show every single week.
Woody Harrelson, great.
I just finished up my sophomore year playing at Notre Dame. Jay Billis was playing at Duke and trying to guard Ralph Sampson unsuccessfully. Moses Malone was in the middle of his second straight MVP season, and Redskins kicker Mark Mosley won the MVP of the strike-shortened 1982 season, some of the things that were going on in 1982. Last time Virginia was ranked number 1.
Well done. We've got Mike Golic Jr. here for a couple more minutes, so we do want to talk a little more. We'll obviously do an extensive breakdown of the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show tomorrow, but some of the events last night, I want to mention there's a Border Collie who had a slick night at Westminster, and here's what Clute said. This is his handler, Jamie Clute. They're trying for the biggest prize in American Dogdom. He's a once-in-a-lifetime dog. He's a blast. He bites my feet and licks my ears.
There you go.
Sometime around 11 p.m. tonight, we're going to find out if he is the nation's top dog.
Well, there were four group winners last night. In herding, it was Slick the Border Collie.
Right.
In the non-sporting group, it was Flynn the Bichon Frise. The hound, it was Lucy I don't know what, the Bonzoy. I'm not sure what.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Bonzoy?
Oh, yeah, the Bonzoy.
And the toy was Biggie the Pug. And Mike, before you go, explain to everybody what happened last night when Biggie won the grouping.
Yeah, listen, so Biggie was playing with a heavy heart last night, obviously showing well for the boyish charm of pugs everywhere, erupting the crowd at Madison Square Garden in support of Biggie. But Biggie and his handler paid homage to Mr. Rumbles, who was in fact Biggie's father, who was a show dog, was supposed to participate this year, but passed away really unexpectedly this summer on a walk. And so Biggie was competing in his stead and managed to take home the group, which anyone will tell you is already a major honor to be named the best in the group, hoping for best in show later on. But I sat there and I listened to his handler talk about, competing with an extra set of eyes on him, and his voice cracked just a bit and just enough for I looked up and all of a sudden tears streaming down my face.
Is it getting misty in here a little bit?
He's crying.
Mr. Rumbles the pug chopping onions.
Chopping onions, making it cry. There are 3 more tonight, Sporting, Working, and Terrier, and then the 7 winners of their grouping will compete for Best in Show. We're pulling for Biggie the Pug.
Tell you, we got to talk movies later. Best in Show, one of the all-time.
Oh, it's a fantastic movie.
How much do you think I can bench?
Yeah. Are you okay, Mike?
Coming up next,
right.
the New Look Cavs are in Oklahoma City tonight. We'll ask our coach, PJ Kalisma, what he sees from LeBron and company. Thanks to Mike Golic Jr., first and last, weekdays 4 to 6, right here on ESPN Radio.
Rest in peace, Mr. Rumbles.